Ever feel like, starting something big, like a whole movement? Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into how one woman did just that. We'll be looking at the journey of Monalisa Davis and how she built this incredible network supporting African-American women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how she went from you know, just a single digital product to creating a whole movement.
Exactly. And we're going to unpack all of that using excerpts from a piece called A Woman's Story that details her path.
You know what's so interesting about Mona Lisa's story? It really challenges this idea that you need a ton of resources to make a real impact. Like her journey really proves that being focused and understanding your audience can be your biggest advantage.
That's so true. She saw a need in her community, right? There weren't many resources specifically made for African-American women who wanted to start businesses.
Yeah, and she had gone through those challenges herself, so she knew exactly what others were facing.
So she thought, okay, what can I do? And that's when she created this business startup guide, specifically tailored for that audience.
And this is where things get really interesting. Instead of making like a generic guide, she really put her personal touch on it. She combined her own experiences, all the research she did, and a deep understanding of the cultural landscape. I think that's what made it so impactful.
Definitely. And, this wasn't some fancy, expensive production. We're talking like a $50 budget, using Canva to design it and Gumroad to sell it. Pretty inspiring, right?
It really shows you that even with limited resources, you can make a huge difference.
Totally. So then she jumps on Instagram, shares her story in a really authentic way, and boom, she sells 50 copies in the first week.
50 copies might not sound like a lot, but remember, this wasn't just some random product. It was laser focused on a very specific group, and it clearly resonated with them.
Yeah. And imagine launching your own product on Instagram. What would you do?
Yeah.
Well, Mona Lisa took that early income and put it right back into the business. She invested in ads and worked with micro-influencers, a smart move to keep that growth going. And guess what?
What?
6 months later, she sold over 5,000 copies.
Wow. Talk about a success story.
Yeah, but she didn't stop there. She had a bigger vision in mind.
Right. She realized she could have a much wider impact if she built a community around all this. So she launched From Hustle to Legacy, her podcast.
And it became this amazing platform for women to connect, share their experiences, their struggles, and their strategies. And it really took off, right?
Oh, yeah, big time. She started attracting sponsors and created a real sustainable income stream.
It's incredible how a podcast can become this powerful tool for growth and building relationships.
It really is. But, thinking about it now, I wonder if she had considered other formats like video content or interactive workshops. It could have potentially broadened her reach even further. What do you think?
That's a great point. But even without those, Mona Lisa was still going strong. She created a whole membership platform filled with resources, live coaching sessions, and most importantly, a space for everyone to connect. It wasn't just about information anymore. It was about building this strong support system.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see how she kept expanding her network. Each element sort of fed into the others, creating this really powerful ecosystem.
And the impact went way beyond her initial audience. I mean, she was featured in articles, invited to speak at events, and even became a sought-after mentor. Her message resonated with so many people.
And what a message it was, right?
Yeah.
Start where you are with what you have and build something extraordinary.
Absolutely. And, this wasn't just about selling a guide. It was about empowering an entire community and sparking a movement. Mona Lisa's story makes you think about the possibilities. Could this kind of approach work in other areas too? This combination of specific content, community building, and organic growth.
It's a great question. I mean, think about the needs you see in your own community. What could you create to make a difference? What single digital product, maybe a guide, a course, a tool could you make that could spark change? Maybe even your own movement.
It's worth thinking about. It all starts with that first step, right?
Yeah.
All right, folks, we'll leave you with that.
Until next time.